What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the studio.
Welcome to the show.
So apparently, this show is going to be a little controversial because we're talking Superman. A new Superman movie just came out. The very first movie ever titled simply Superman. We're going to tell you what our take on it is, our review of it, how we feel about it, and there might be a little difference of opinion, something you usually don't see between us. So,
we disagree all the time.
well, not on camera. We usually agree. All right.
That's because I usually tell you what to think and then you follow along. Today you decided to be rebellious. I decided to let you.
I don't think. All right, so cue the intro.
Welcome back, Vigoters.
So Superman just came out, and we both saw it. He saw it before I did. I actually saw it in the theater. He saw it in the theater as well.
Yes.
So initially, Superman.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman.
Where does Superman stand on your characters of enjoyment?
That's hard to say. He was not my favorite superhero growing up. I got into more of the... I enjoyed Batman. I liked the Iron Man. I liked Spawn. I liked Morbius.
So like the anti-hero.
I liked the Punisher. I liked Deadpool. Yeah, I was more of the darker side of the comic book world.
The anti-hero, for sure.
I always had at least a moderate interest and respect for guys like Spider-Man and Superman. But they weren't my favorites.
For me, it goes Captain America.
I understood that reference.
Superman are pretty even. Then Deadpool's right underneath them. But then you have people, like, of course, Batman, Spawn, love Spawn. Then you have, like, Punisher. You have the classic anti-heroes. But it's always been Captain America, Superman, and Deadpool for me. Those are my trio.
Okay.
So
I'd say back when I was collecting, probably the biggest collection I had. I mean, I have some of everybody, but my biggest collection was probably the Punisher.
Yeah,
like that's the one I had. Like I had a comic book store that I had hold all the issues I wanted, and the Punisher. I mean, there's different, like, I don't know if they're like different universes or different whatever, but there's different series of Punisher.
Yeah. I'm not the one who dies. I'm the one who does the killing.
And I collected every one every month.
I mean, I like the Punisher. I like the fact that it's got that dark, it's got that grit, it's got that part of, I like watching Superman who doesn't kill anybody, Captain America who has, and you have that balance of good, and then you have someone like the Punisher who's just like, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah.
And then you have Batman, who's has
have some dark issues that need to be worked out with a therapist.
Therapy.
I don't know.
Therapist. Yeah, I'm not gonna be seeing one of those anytime soon.
But as far as the Superman movie, I was gonna watch it eventually. I knew I would, but I knew you were going to go see it on Wednesday, and I knew you were going to want to talk about it. And what's the point of watching it if somebody tells you everything about it? So I went ahead and watched it that Monday, knowing I wouldn't see you, and I could easily not talk about it until after you saw it.
I went into it with a lot of hope.
On my world, it means hope.
I didn't want to say high expectations because I had hope, not necessarily expectations.
Yeah. Now you have to remember a few things. I grew up with the Justice League cartoon when I was a kid. I grew up with the original movie. Now, I was young when it came out, but I saw it.
Yeah.
By the time I was 8 or 10, I'd seen it at least the first time, and then many times since. And I think there might have even been a show on TV back then.
They had the black and white one at first.
Yeah.
With Christopher Reeve's father, Henry
I really
George Reeves.
liked them. The originals. So, and I'm when it comes to superhero movies, I like more of the less theatrical, out there I mean, admittedly, comic books by and large are out there because none of the shit they can do is real. But at least it used to seem more achievable and like more realistic.
Inconceivable.
The new movies are just, sometimes they're just so far over the top that you're just like, all right, now we're just getting silly.
So it's an interesting take that that want to talk about with that. So when you look back at the original Chris Reeves Superman, the first Superman 1, 2, 3, and then Superman 4, something Hope, I can't remember what it was, but you're
New Hope or something?
No,
I don't know.
It's like
anyway.
Something Hope. But you had the introduction of Superman, and Superman is such an outlandish, overpowered, incredible character that if you threw everything at them in that first movie before they were introduced to what comic book movies were, it would have been even more difficult for people to accept.
Look, it's weird because I get that comic books are out there and outlandish, but even if you read all the Superman comics, you have comic books of Superman that have more of a darker, or not even dark, but more of a serious tone to them. And then the silly ones that have like the little talking animals and all the weird shit. I'm more of the, let's keep it at least moderately believable that there could be a world of superheroes. Not like just so far ridiculous that it could never happen.
And you see, the way that I see, especially this one, is that it fully embraced the entirety of that comic book.
I think it went a little childish in a few points.
The way that I described it to Amanda when we finished watching it was, it felt like it was made for me right now as a child.
It felt like it was written as like episode 1 of Star Wars with Jar Jar Binks, and just a little bit of it just wasn't that same adult style movie and hero. It was more of a kid-friendly version, like, oh look, you can take your kids to see this.
And you see, I don't necessarily agree with that.
And I don't know why, because yes, there was violence, and yes, there was this and that, but there was also a lot of unnecessary silliness.
Was it okay,
and I don't mind comedy.
Give me an example of the unnecessary silliness.
Things I didn't like. I thought most of the movie was good. I didn't really dig the whole we cloned Superman thing. But all right, let's just go with that, and we'll just run with it. Whatever.
I mean,
it's been overplayed in movies, but okay.
Yeah, because like they did the same thing with what was it, Batman versus Superman? Like, it was the same concept except turned into Doomsday instead.
But I did not like the Green Lantern, and I love the actor in Rookie and Castle.
Firefly.
I think he's great. Firefly. I think he's a great actor. I hated his portrayal of Green Lantern in the movie. I thought, and this is controversial because I know a lot of people hated the Ryan Reynolds version. I thought Ryan Reynolds played a much better Green Lantern. I thought the hairdo was hideous and stupid.
They're different people.
I'm aware they're different people. I thought the comic, it was just silly. He was obnoxious and silly.
Well, so was Guy Gardner.
But like, what was it, Hot Girl, or is that who it was? Hot Girl.
Yeah.
I liked her character. I thought she played kind of a badass, kind of what I would expect from a Justice League superhero. I did not like his. Even the other guy, and I don't remember what he was
Mr.
even called,
Terrific.
Mr. Terrific. I liked his character.
He was great.
I thought he was awesome. I just did not like Green Lantern portrayal in this. I thought it was
Guy Gardner
ridiculous.
was that douchebag.
Guy Gardner
was the guy who was always like.
The second thing I didn't like was I was not a fan of Superdog at
Crypto.
all. Now I could have Crypto. I could have been okay with him more if they'd at least left the stupid cape off. I thought the cape made it stupid and silly. That's just my personal opinion. I get that a lot of people thought it was probably very comic booky and very awesome. I didn't care for it.
I disagree hard.
Yeah, because you would like stuff like that. I just don't.
Like, it was so comic booky.
The other thing is all right, so you have Superman, who is by and large just a man of virtue and morals and just this, like, better than we are. That's why he's our hope.
Right.
But then you have drunk Supergirl enter at the end of the show, which is exact opposite of what the superhero concept of superheroes is.
There's a lot to, because Supergirl, they're doing a Supergirl movie. That's going to be the next one.
Yes, I know, and that's why they had her pop in.
Yeah, and I
just thought they made her look ditzy. They made her look irresponsible.
Yep.
And I just I had an issue with it.
I think it's setting up the character development for her to start that, and grows into the superhero.
I get that they're also trying to put that modern take on it, where she's a teenager and or in early 20s, and she's going out and she's finding herself by partying across the universe and other planets and all that.
I think it sets up I think the purpose of it is to set up a lot.
We'll see.
Now, Crypto. Okay, so getting back, Guy Gardner. He was always the type who was very self-confident and thought that he was better than he was. And he would always do something where, like, I got this, and do something and then get smashed.
Stand back and peep the light show. Green Lantern's got this.
He always was, like, confident without really needing to be. Now, Ryan Reynolds' character was Hal Jordan. A little bit, totally different character. But he looked just like Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. Okay, they could have modernized him a little bit with the haircut. The attitude I like.
Could have made him less of a douchebag.
No, that's Guy Gardner. He was supposed to be that douchebag.
I mean, I don't mind if he's a little douchey. It's just they made you dislike him from the jump.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, like nothing about him.
You're supposed to not like him. You're supposed to.
I didn't like it.
Nobody ever liked Guy Gardner in like the Justice League and stuff. He's an annoying douchebag.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
When it comes to Crypto, I like that he was in it. I think that they did a little much with it, but I also think it took the human characteristic of Superman and played on having Crypto there.
I also didn't like the fact that the Justice League, so like Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern, they played into the film. Like they had role, and I know that they were sent to, what was it, Bosnia? Was that where it took place?
It was a made up country. I can't remember the name of it.
Wherever that country was. Yeah. And because Superman was battling himself or his clone, so Ultraman. He couldn't go. So the Justice League or whatever went, but it felt like a little side rant inside the movie itself. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I didn't like how easy and how fast the population of non-super people, whatever they call them.
Yeah. Metahumans
turned to... No, that's the superheroes.
Metahumans are the superheroes and the
non-metahumans.
The normies.
I did not... The normie, whatever. I didn't like how quickly they turned against Superman just because of a little publicity. I didn't like that. I thought... I don't think people are really that shallow and stupid. Then again, maybe I'm wrong.
So since we started out with the cons, I'll say a couple of things that I didn't like. First and foremost, every Superman movie that you look back at, every Superman movie, you have Lex Luthor, whose role in the movie was some sort of land grab. Somehow he was trying to get land. Well, no, what I'm saying is... every Superman movie, it's about him getting land, him becoming like a lord of land. Even like the one Superman movie where he had the crystal and he was growing the crystal island.
No,
and I loved the first of all. Well, this is stuff that I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that it was based on him getting half of a country. I think it was, I think it had potential, but again, another land grab, another trying to get land, it's just I think that's getting a little bit old.
I guess I didn't mind that part as bad of the reason why he was doing what he's doing. I didn't like the actual attack when they were going to war. And it's like, it just seemed abstract because Superman didn't go. He didn't save the day. That's who he is. He also was by far the weakest Superman ever. And I know Krypton and all that. But I just think they overdid it a little. I mean, they showed him as such a weak Superman.
I don't necessarily agree with that. But another thing that I didn't like about it is I didn't like that Lex Luthor got arrested at the end. I think that Lex Luthor should have got away with it, and that should be the contention.
The difference is he'll escape. And
well,
we
I
all
don't
know
think he
that.
would have to. That's like every Superman movie at the end, Lex gets arrested, or he's in jail or something. I don't think it should be that way. I think he should be like, I'm Lex Luthor. I've got to get out of jail free card. You can't stop me. And I would have liked that aspect rather than him getting arrested.
Yeah.
The other thing that I didn't like is there was an aspect of, and I'll go ahead and say with Crypto, there was an aspect with Crypto where I think he played too much, like in the scene where he was in the, by the way, spoiler alerts. I'll make sure to put something at the beginning of this video because we're getting into spoiler alerts. When he was in the anti-proton river after he got out of the glass prison and he had the baby, and he's like, Crypto, come help, take the baby or do whatever. And there was something about that scene that just didn't, like it was thrown in.
The other thing I didn't like is in every other Superman, and even in Spider-Man, the what was it? The grandparents of Spider-Man, right? His grandparents or his aunt and uncle?
The aunt and uncle.
Aunt and uncle. And then in Superman, where it's his Earth parents. They've always been super good human beings that have hearts of gold and are just all American great people. I did not like the portrayal of Superman's parents in the movie. They read as hillbilly hicks that were dumb as a box of rocks, but in the end turned out that they had hearts of gold.
I did
not like it.
I liked the portrayal of the father. I think the father was a good portrayal. The mom, I think, missed the mark.
In the beginning, they both came across as just not real bright. And just kind of
especially with like the phone call.
Just because they're country and they're farmers doesn't mean they're retarded. Well, sorry, I know that word's not popular. I don't mean that as mentally handicapped. I mean it as people who are uneducated and know better.
I think the father was a really good Jonathan Kent. I like he had heart. He had that worry, that concern. I think the mom I think she missed the mark.
My mother!
I think there was something missing in her character. I do like that they came across.
I think they came across as very caring of Superman. I'm not saying that. That part was right on with people that raised the child. They would be caring, but they also came across as just
simple
hick.
Yeah,
like non-intelligent hicks, and I didn't like it. It's never been the way they portrayed them in the past. They've been simple folk and country people, but not necessarily portrayed as dumb.
So there's a comic book, and I don't remember what comic book it was in. I don't remember the storyline it was in or anything like that. But Superman would fly over his family farm, and his dad would be outside working on the farm or whatever, and he would hear something, and he'd wave, be like, "Hey, Clark," and he just was flying over, going to do a Superman shit.
Yeah, that
Jonathan Kent came across as that Jonathan Kent in the comic book. Yeah. I think he just can't. I liked it.
Something in the movie just lost something.
Now
with his parents. Now they turned it around with them at the end. They were more like, because at first you're like, ugh, in the end you were like, all right, they're good people. But at least for me, that's how I kind of viewed it. But
I liked Jonathan Kent. The mom, I think, missed the mark.
Yeah.
Now now let's talk about some of the things we liked.
I liked Superman and Lois Lane's relationship and the way they dealt with each other. I thought it was awesome.
The interview was great.
That they didn't waste so much time in the movie with her not knowing because every movie Superman, it's always Lois Lane doesn't know, and then a certain way through the movie she finds out.
We know.
I love the fact that that's established.
And they do the same thing in Spider-Man movies.
Yep.
What's her name? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Mary Jane.
Yes,
MJ.
Doesn't know it's Spider-Man until late into the show.
Yep.
And it's like, I kind of like that they did something fresh and something new, and it started with her already dating and knowing who he was. I also liked that they talked about why people couldn't discern who he was with the glasses.
Yes, the hypno
That was
glasses.
smart because they've never done that before. It's like finally, because otherwise it just reads as people are stupid.
Yes.
That guy takes a pair of glasses off and puts a different outfit on, and all of a sudden nobody knows who he is.
Loved it. Loved that they included it.
I loved the Daily Planet. The people in there.
I think every character was great.
I thought it read as a very good, like, live portrayal of what you would assume a newspaper room would look like.
I can't remember his name, but the guy who played Perry White, perfect.
The young kid
who played Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen. I liked his character. I even liked the fact that Jimmy got a little play in it.
That women loved him. I loved it.
Yeah, I kind of liked that.
It's like you're like, what the fuck?
He went from being this little boy that was always, looking up to Clark Kent to this grown man who had connections and
he was the one making
stuff that
calls
no one else could do. I like that, so they were good. I don't by any means say I didn't like or enjoy the movie.
Had problems.
There were just a lot of things that I thought should be different. Or better.
I think it was one of the best intros because it comes right into. First of all, you had 3,000 years ago something. 30 years ago he showed up. 3 years ago he's Superman. 3 minutes ago he lost his first fight. I love the concept of three. Now, I don't know exactly what it means. Does it mean Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, the trio? Is that what they're trying to establish? I don't know.
Maybe.
But the three I liked. Then it comes right into him getting fucked up. Him hitting the.
Oh, yeah. I'd say 75% of the movie got his ass whooped. Through that movie. I mean, no other movie of Superman has he ever taken that beating for that much of a movie. He took a beating through that movie.
I gotta tell you, yeah, he did. I really like the Fortress of Solitude. I like the Superman robots.
I love that. I didn't like how... I wasn't big on the fact that they cloned him and all of a sudden they knew where it was and how to get into it. I didn't care for it, but whatever. I mean, it was part of the storyline, so I can deal with it. Now, there were parts about the prison I didn't care for. I can't articulate exactly what it was. But overall, I guess it was all right.
So something interesting that I heard the other day about the way the movie was set up is the movie was set up originally where the fight took place on Sunday. The fight in the very beginning. And then Monday, when he comes into work, that was Monday.
Yeah. And
the movie was to take place over 1 week. And they were going to say the days of the week on it, but they chose not to.
If they did... Yeah, it didn't read that way. It just it read as a normal movie. It went for however long it went. They didn't really depict days and nights.
I think if it would have,
or even how long he was in that jail.
Right. I think if they would have done that, I think I would have. So normally when you watch a movie is about like a time period or an event in someone's life that's life altering.
Yeah.
This is like Superman's week. This is just a week for him. I would have liked that. Let's see, what else did I like? I liked his portrayal as Clark Kent. I didn't know if I was going to like it.
I thought he did good as Clark Kent too. What I did like was the girl that was bad. Lex Luthor's girl.
His girl. Yeah.
I liked her. I didn't care for the clone. I just did. He was there, but he really had no. He was just a fighting machine.
Right.
He didn't really have any personality.
2 or 3 theories on it and there's a couple that I have. There was one thing in particular that Lex said is that he's even stupider than you. So that leads me to believe it could be setting up Bizarro for later. But Bizarro is a different character, but it could be. But I know that there's a series run where Bizarro is his clone. And he gets sent to another dimension or planet to be their Superman because he's dumb.
Could be.
But that didn't bother me as much because I knew there were a couple of things they could set up for it.
I would really like to see Hot Girl's role expounded.
Yeah, I think
I could do with less Green Lantern and more with her and more with
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific had a huge role. I mean, he was out of the 3 of them, he had the role.
Yeah.
But I liked her, and I liked that she was like the guy that, more or less, well, you wouldn't kill me. It's like, I'm not Superman.
Yeah, and just dead.
You got fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not Superman. I'll do whatever I want to do.
Yeah. The character I like the most. Now, this is a Superman movie, but I felt like it really did something that the Justice League under Snyder missed, although I'm not talking about the Snyder cut, talking about the original. It encompassed everybody else so well. Like Superman, it's his movie, but it encompassed everybody. My favorite character was Lex Luthor. That dude was a great Lex Luthor.
As in all movies with multiple characters, in all, superhero movies with all characters, if you're not a comic book reader, then the development isn't there for those characters. Think about it. If you don't know who Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and Mr. Fantastic
Mr. Terrific,
and Lex Luthor, and you don't know who all these people are, there wasn't a lot of character development. And that happens when you have too many lead or big name characters. And they did, it's happened with Deadpool, and I love all the Deadpools. But it happened where I love the first one the most because it's simply good and evil.
Yeah. And
then it gets good, evil, and a bunch of sides, and it just gets to where they don't ever really develop. And if you don't understand comic books, then you're like, I don't know who that was. You don't really get it as much.
The thing that I like, and it's taking a step away from the movie, is Gunn, James Gunn, the director, is now running the show of DC.
Yeah.
So they've got like a Supergirl movie coming out. They've got a Wonder Woman coming out. They're doing the Batman with Rob Pattinson. They're doing another one with him, but it's not in the universe.
I'm anxious to see the next Batman. I thought the last one was fantastic.
Well, the Batman they're doing it with Rob Pattinson, but it's not part of that universe.
I'm hoping they don't make it light and bubbly.
They're not.
Kind of the way I felt about the Superman was a little too light and bubbly, but then it had some darkness to it.
But they're doing another Batman that is part of the universe.
I like my Batman to be a vigilante, which is what he is.
Yeah.
Which means he should be an anti-hero, like right on the verge of an anti-hero.
I'm vengeance.
Because we've talked about this before in the past, and I hate to get off on Batman, but I'm a huge Batman fan. I like Batman to be what I think psychologically a guy who decides to fashion his vigilantism off of bats and caves with extreme wealth, who watched his parents get murdered in front of him in an alley when he was just a child, would be much more violent and dark than the Batmans that so many writers portray in the movies.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily agree that Batman is violent, because Batman is fucking violent, but he doesn't kill.
I'm not necessarily opposed to him not killing, but in a lot of them, there's a few punches thrown and he ties them all up with, one of his little belt tricks and moves on. And I don't mind that he, really F's them up pretty good.
In my mind, Batman is the one who comes in and beats the shit out of people.
I wouldn't even be opposed to Batman killing a few people. Shit happens in battle.
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
You know what I'd love to see? I'd love the guy that wrote, now I'm going to draw a blank.
Punisher?
No. They killed his dog.
John Wick.
John Wick. I'd love the writers of John Wick to do a Batman movie and write the Batman character and have him be as dark and violent as John Wick. But in a Batman style, not in guns. And,
No, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
I would watch the shit out of that. You tell me you wouldn't watch that.
I would.
Oh,
but
that'd be awesome.
To me, that's also approaching on the grounds of like Tom Cruise as Reacher. Like, the movies were great if he wasn't Reacher.
Well, yeah, but that's not because of the way they wrote the movies.
It's because of the character.
It's because he doesn't look like the description of the guy in every book that everybody read.
Well, that's not Batman, though. Batman doesn't go around killing everybody.
I didn't say he'd kill everybody. I'm just saying being a little more dark, a little more violent.
Batman beats the shit out of people.
For whatever it's worth, that's just what I would like to see.
I'm just confused by it because, are we watching different Batmans? We're talking about the kooky Kapow from like the...
No, I have always liked all Batmans. But I've also always thought he should be more of the Deadpool or Punisher type character than he's ever been written as.
I mean, I don't...
Me personally. That just goes back to the original. I just think they wrote back. I think Batman came out at a time where they didn't shoot and kill people. You know, like back when the original Superman, original Spider-Man. So they had all these superheroes that didn't do any real violence to anybody. But I think if you get into the psychology of somebody who went through what he went through, it would be a whole different... Like, if Batman had just been created right now, he would be a John Wick kind of guy from what he went through. That's my personal belief. See, psychologically, like
the hard part to do is the balancing, because he's also brilliant. He's brilliant. So like, he's got that analytical detective mind. He's also the world's greatest detective. So he's got that analytic detective mind as well. So to balance it out, you've got to have someplace where, yeah, he beats the shit out of people and everybody he fights ends up in the hospital for a month in a coma, but he doesn't kill them.
Yeah, but your John Wick characters who did, kill everyone, he wasn't an idiot. He didn't read as like somebody who had no intelligence. He was a highly intelligent man.
Yeah, but a different type of intelligence.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I think a billionaire who decides he's going to turn his life into crime fighting and punishing the evil in the world would be, in a real scenario situation with that kind of money and that kind of anger. And if you watch the movies, he went to Tibet or wherever, to the monastery, the monks.
He went to he went and trained under.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll put some information here. I can't remember what his name was.
My theory is that
League of Assassins.
He would have been a way darker person. I mean, if written today, he would be a way darker character.
The other difference is you had Alfred, who raised him to teach him to keep the Wayne name and to keep his humanity.
Look,
and Alfred was a badass.
I could be wrong, and I'm sure there's purists of the comic book world would hate the thought of what I'm saying. I just wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. Back to Superman. If I were going to rank it out of 10, I would give it a solid 7.5. I loved the movie. I loved the comic book. I loved the look.
To be honest, I would probably give it a solid 6.5 to 7.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I thought costumes were excellent, barring you take the cape off the dog, and you change Green Lantern's haircut, which drove me absolutely mad.
I like it. It played him very well.
I
like the costume. I love the look. I loved every bad character.
But overall, I liked
kaiju.
I liked the dark and light in the movie. It wasn't all dark the whole way through. It wasn't all bright and cheery and Green Meadows. So I liked that it had all different kind of scenarios. I liked the technical side of like the super bots or whatever they were called in the Ice Palace and all that.
The scene where Lex is walking through there and the bots were going after him, and he didn't hesitate while the bots were coming at him, and they were like exploding all around him, and he didn't even hesitate while he
knew his people had it.
Coolest Lex Luthor scene ever.
Yeah. I wish they would have did more of him. I'm trying to think of what movie did that. What movie they had where he didn't get to talk enough and really like. I'm trying to think of what I saw where
he talked a lot.
We almost got to see more of his personality and
Jesse Eisenberg,
son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
In Batman vs Superman, he talked a lot. He showed his
also
psycho.
maybe in the series.
That's where a lot of it comes from.
What is that called?
We got Lois and Clark.
Yeah, but they had a series where he was like a high school student.
Oh, Smallville.
Yeah,
great.
And that, like, you got to know Luke.
You actually liked him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were best friends growing up, and I liked that story, and you like knew the character.
Yeah.
Where in this one he was just a bad guy. You never really got to know that, that part of him. He was just.
The other thing I really liked is, so you have Chris Reeves.
And I'm sure they may get into that one day. If they keep the series going, they may do a backstory that shows you how Lex Luthor develops such a hatred for Superman, which he does. He has not just a normal, I'm just a bad guy and Superman stands in my way.
That scene,
he has absolute hatred for him.
When he comes back from the Fortress of Solitude and he's standing in the tower and he flies by and he turns around and he goes, he's back. It's just like, oh, that's great. Chris Reeves was the happy, man of hope, the man of tomorrow,
I think he set the bar though on what Superman's looks like and is. I think he was just the guy. But I liked him. I liked
Henry Cavill.
Names. Yes, Henry. I thought Henry was awesome.
Brandon Routh played him in a movie as well.
I also thought he was a darker Superman than
that's exactly what I was getting into. So like Chris Reeves is like the happy.
Like I loved Superman when he woke up.
The best.
Was it
scene.
come back to life or did he just wake up?
Oh, he came back to life. They set him back with the cube.
I thought that anger,
that whole scene,
I love that because I thought
best Superman scene
that played into the psychology of what you would deal with in that situation. You're Superman. You are protecting the human, and then you get killed.
You want to kill me? Because Batman wanted to kill him, and he died, and now he wants to be. He brought him back.
Yeah.
The scene where he fought the Justice League, where they hit him, and he stopped it. Like they were attacking, and he stopped it. And Cyborg was trying to push him with his rockets going, and the Flash ran by him, and he just looked. The best Superman scene
That's what I'm
ever.
saying.
Oh
That's
my
the
God.
Supermans that I can get behind. Are like these. This Superman, I think it was just this movie. I'm hoping, since it sounds like they're going to do a second
whole
movie,
universe.
I think that they'll bring him out to be more of a strong. I mean, Superman has always been, out of all the superheroes in comic books on Marvel and DC, he's always been kind of like the top guy.
Oh yeah.
Like Superman's always been like the elite of all the superheroes.
Yeah.
Like they would all follow his lead if he ever led.
And Batman.
And they kind of, they left you kind of like, oh, Superman.
Yeah, with but so like you had Chris Reeves, who was like the happy man of tomorrow, like the quirky little flying is still the safest route of travel, that kind of thing. Then you had Henry Cavill, who I call the emo Superman. Where he's,
I like the word emo,
I know it's like the darker, the sadder, like the more, just it was a different style of Superman that I've ever seen. This Superman,
well, if you think about it too, you're talking about two different periods of time. You're talking about Superman, Christopher Reeves back in what, 70s, dealing with the population of the U.S. in the 70s.
Yeah,
as opposed to the much more turmoil and divided,
right. It was
modern day America.
But this Superman had an element of humanity, where like when Lois was questioning him, and he's like, people were gonna die. Like he was getting like upset, agitated.
Yeah.
Where he was more human. Like even in the old scene with Christopher Reeve when Lois Lane shoots him with a blank. And he's like, you could have just killed Clark Kent. And she goes, it was a blank. He had this demeanor about him. Yeah. This Superman was just like, it was just more human. Yeah. Where he was telling Lex, like, I mess up. I'm more human than you all. When he came in, when he came in after when Crypto was missing from the Fortress of Solitude, and he came into his office and flung, "Where's the dog?" I mean, I was like,
that was a John Wick moment if there ever was one.
I loved that scene.
Yeah, it made
that scene was
instantly
good.
made me think of John Wick. I'm like,
You know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of the movie Kazam. Kind of like
I
a.
watched that, but I don't remember.
It was a kid who transformed into an adult. It came across as like a early 20-something Superman.
Yeah.
Like who was still like
yeah,
a
he
kid
obviously read as a very inexperienced, not quite sure of himself kind of Superman.
Not full on Superman. Like that's one thing about Henry Cavill's Superman is he came right in and he was
An
like, I'm
adult,
fucking Superman.
confident Superman.
And he wasn't Superman at first.
Yeah.
But when he put on his costume, he's like, I'm Superman. But this guy, he'd been Superman for a while and he still seemed young.
You know what I did like is that they dropped the whole phone booth thing.
Yeah.
The whole sneak off when nobody's looking and Superman. I did like that they kind of let that go because they waste so much time in the movie with every time they do that or every time they have to explain that he has X-ray vision and he can leap a building.
I am so glad that
they're now
an origin story.
They're almost writing them more now for fans that already understand,
establish and know what's going on,
and that way they're losing less time doing the rest. Even though in some cases I wish they would do a little bit more character development on some.
I'm pretty sure they're setting it up to go into it in further
and
movies.
I think they're also going to go into a Justice League. I think eventually they're going to come out with Justice League, and then you're going to get to know like Falcon and all of them a lot better
because you got the Martian guy, what's his name, I can't remember his name,
Silver Surfer.
No, that's Marvel.
Is it?
Yeah, you have the Martian
crossed over for some reason.
You have the Martian, Martian Manhunter. You have Hawkman. You're gonna have Aquaman. You have Flash. You have Wonder Woman. You got Batman. I mean, there's a stack.
You got
of
Green
characters.
Arrow.
Green Arrow. Now it's going to be cool to see what they decide to do with Green Arrow, because in the TV show they basically turned him into Batman. In the comic book, he was obsessed with Batman and tried to copy him in every way, but he was a dumb surfer guy. So I'm curious about what avenue they're going to take in this. If they keep it comic book accurate like they did with Guy Gardner, he might be a dumb surfer guy. Curious to see where they go with it. But
it'd be interesting.
I liked it. I'm very much looking forward to the rest of them. I'm looking forward to Supergirl. Can't wait to see what they do with that. Curious about they're going to be coming out with a Wonder Woman movie.
Another one?
A different one. It's going to not be Gal Gadot. It's going to be a completely different character. Batman, I'm curious about what they're going to do to introduce him into this universe. They're going to do a young Justice League. The Batman movie they're making is going to have Robin, who is his son Damian Wayne. So it's much later in the Batman storyline.
You know what? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did actually show it in one of the Batman movies out of all the Batman movies they've ever made. But I really miss in the Batcave the big penny or nickel or whatever it is. I think it's a penny, right? In the TV show version, when they went to the Batcave, it had this huge coin, just a big coin as a background design. I always liked it. I don't
remember
as a kid growing up watching Batman. I mean, yeah, Batman.
Yeah. Because you have the first Batman was Dick Grayson.
Yeah, we watched the whole Kapow Kaboom.
Yeah.
I
remember that with what's his name?
Yeah.
And
the Joker was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was funny.
So the first Robin was Dick Grayson. Then you had
God, it's hard to believe. I remember seeing these on TV growing up.
I remember that too. Jeez. Haley and I were just talking about it. Then you had Tim. I can't remember his name, Tim something, who was the Robin they killed.
Yeah.
Tim Drake.
Yeah. Tim
Drake, and then I can't remember the one who becomes Red Hood, Haley's favorite. And then Damon Wayne was the fourth one, who's his son. Ra's al Ghul's daughter is his mother. And he becomes Robin, and that's where that storyline's picking up. So who knows? Maybe they'll have a Nightwing who is Dick Grayson's character as an adult, DC hasn't had it. James Gunn is now the Feige of the DC universe, so I'm looking forward to it. I love DC.
It'll be interesting. I think Marvel had their time. Now it's time for them to do a run with DC and bring out.
I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait.
I think these movies are awesome for anybody who grew up around comic books or superheroes. I think they probably aren't the favorite of people who didn't, because they don't probably understand all of it.
Yeah, because it's very comic booky.
And it's very unexplained. Like, and I guess that's because there have been so many movies where they've done the backstory and the who they are.
Of some of them, because I don't.
Superman and Batman in general.
Because nobody knows who Mr. Terrific is.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. I mean, very few people are more people are gonna know Green Lantern, but the Guy Gardner, even fewer people. They're gonna know Hal Jordan. That's the one Ryan Reynolds played. Then you have Hawkgirl, who's portrayed only in a few television series.
I know a lot of people didn't like the Ryan Reynolds movie.
I haven't seen it. I thought
it was awesome, and I love how they tie into. He's not the only Green Lantern.
Yeah,
there's thousands of them.
Yep.
All over the universes.
Yeah.
I like that they brought that. You should definitely watch it.
I'll have to watch it. It's probably on HBO Max, because that's where all the DC stuff.
I'm sure it's on Play.
Yeah. I love the movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next.
Yes.
And I loved.
Maybe we'll do a movie night one night and we'll watch Green Lantern, because I liked it. But I'm one of the rare people that I liked Elektra. I liked it too. Daredevil with Ben Affleck.
Well, I'm a big Ben Affleck fan. I loved him as Batman.
I thought he was great as Batman too.
Loved him as Batman.
I don't understand why people rag on these movies. And they're like, "Oh, I hated Green Lantern." I'm like, it's every bit as good as every superhero movie that's came out recently. It was just a different time in history, or in movie making. So it's not as flamboyant or as over the top as today's CGI videos or movies are. But for its time.
If it's a good story, it's a good story.
It kind of is how the character that Ryan Reynolds plays becomes Green Lantern, because in the beginning of the movie he's not pilot. Green Lantern. He becomes Green Lantern throughout the movie, and it does it gives you a history of how the Green Lanterns. What they are as an organization, and how the rings work, and how they get their powers and all that.
We'll have to do it one night.
But on that note, we should do a wrap.
Yeah, so I give it a solid 7.5.
I will give it a 6.5 to 7. I'm undecided. It had some good.
Let us know what you think. Maybe we'll have to do a show where we rank all the movies and talk about all the Superman movies.
Oh God, there's so many.
Just let us know what you think. Let us know if we're missing the mark or hitting the mark. Like, comment, subscribe.
Ring that bell.
And who knows? Maybe we'll do some more superhero shit. Totally. Why not?
Well, let us know if it's something you would rather not see or you don't care for. Then maybe we won't. But we really enjoy talking about it, and
we got a passion for it. So.
Given our differences of opinions.
Yeah, I like that we actually don't agree on everything.
We're not necessarily the best worded people in the world.
But I like that we don't agree on everything. Until
next time. Peace.
Peace out, guys.